All right, here we go. Part 3 of Alderheart, the Great Tree. I think today, guess I'll start. You know what? I'm going to work on some of the buildings. I want to work on some of the buildings. So my idea here is that, do we want to replace the buildings? Do we just want to clean up what we have, or do we want to just do some like cloning of buildings and stuff like that? I don't know. Just going to zoom right in here. Because when you zoom in, you kind of get the idea that they're just like these blobby shapes. So I'm going to try to find the layer where the buildings are. Here they are. I'm going to make a new layer. So the new layer. See, I'm going to move my face off of the layer because I can't see. I want people to be able to see what I'm doing. Oh God, I'm going to sneeze. Here we go. COVID in the house. Wow, excuse me. Okay. All right, so here we have, tiny little buildings. So what I think I want to do, because I feel like we either want to make them look like mushrooms growing on the side of the building, like that's the base of the tree, but I feel like the buildings themselves, we want to make them look like they're made of wood or like big, like magically enlarged walnuts, maybe. Wouldn't that be cool? So I'm just going to go back to the tree layer and just make it, okay, I'm going to hide all the other layers so that we can just see. So I made the tree layer slightly less opaque so that we can draw on top of it. I'm going to go back to my pen tool, and I'm just going to go Kyle's Ultimate Inking. See, that's a little big. So I'm going to go, actually, you know what? I'm going to make it this big. Just watch what I do. I'm just going to make the building bigger and then shrink it down. So I think I'm going to make one that looks like a mushroom, almost like a Smurf house, I guess, just sort of just a big mushroom here. Mushroom head. Just like the president's penis. Sorry, the ex-president's penis. Alright, so here we go. You can put a little railing around the front of it. Put some like little sticks that go underneath it. Put a little door. Some windows. Now one thing I want to do is make the I want the windows to be lit up, so I think that's pretty good. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'll make another layer, Control J, A delete, and on this other layer I'm going to do my old trick of multiply and just color it in. So I think I want like a nice orange cap on this mushroom. So again, in order to make this the color layer, is I just make a new layer on top of my ink layer, and I make it I give it the multiply. I make it a multiply layer, which means actually if you just so this is what we're looking at right here. And so now I'm going to go a little darker. Darker again. There we go. Make like a nice gray chimney and like an off-white bottom. Color the whole thing in. Go a little brighter. Whoops. Go a little brighter in the middle. Darker on the edges. Make my brush a little smaller so I don't go over the lines. Don't go over lines. Make little yellow windows. Make it even brighter. Not bright enough. There we go. That's pretty cool. So now we merge these two layers. Hang on. I'm going to make some brown. making some brown. You know what that means. Means we had the burritos. Okay, so there we go. I think that's pretty good. I'm just going to delete this bit here. Yeah. Okay, and now I'm going to merge the layers and clean it up. So I'm going to go back to my pen tool, and I'm going to make these lines. Okay, so I'm going to make the windows, you know, a little better. Make my pen tool very thin now. We can in fact kind of like make windows, you know, like this. Yeah. There we go. Just gonna thin these lines, just to clean up these lines just a little bit. It's not bad. Make this go right here. House. Okay, so now I'm going to make all the things that look like wood. I'm just going to draw on top of them. These are like the supports of the house or whatever. And we can go back to the chimney here. Go. I think I'm going to lighten up the house just a little bit on this side. I like drawing a lighter line around the outside edge of things, you know? There we go. We have a nice mushroom house. So put this back on top of the tree. I'm going to make the tree back at 100% opacity. I'm going to turn on all the background stuff that I turned off before. Now if we look at my mushroom, I'm going to call this Mush House. I'm going to go Control T. Okay, I'm going to deselect everything. I'm going to go Control D to deselect everything, and then go Control T just to grab my little house. I'm going to put it right here on top of this other house. There we go. It's not bad. So I could just build a bunch of these. I can go Control J, T, and make another one and put it down here. Control J again, and just use the go to the selection tool up here, the move tool as it's called, and then you can just sort of grab it. How many of that one can we build, I wonder? Okay, I think that's enough of that one for now. These are all mush houses. Okay, so that's kind of an example of one that's very detailed. Let's do another one. Let's do one that looks like an acorn this time. So I'm going to go Control J, A, delete. Call it acorn house, and let's just do all that again. So I'm going to make everything in the background disappear. There we go. It's kind of cute. Can even have a little deck up here. That's alright. Let's make a new layer. Make that acorn brown, people. I'll make the layer. And multiply. Just color in all this brown. Make it some brown. Yeah. Something like that. Then we go lighter. Again. And very light for down here. Keep going. And then we kind of go, kind of go windows and doors. I'm gonna get rid of that deck, I think, because if I'm going to be repeating this building, I don't want to, you know, end up with too much. Acorn H. Okay, so I've merged the layers. I'm going to go back in here and just kind of make the windows a little bigger. Kind of go just like that. I'm going to make some thicker lines. I'm going to hide all the mush houses so I can see this better. In fact, you know what? I'm going to make an opening in the railing so that this is where people can come down. The secret lives of people in the houses that I build. A little railing where people can come down. Here we go. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I'm gonna go with this light brown color, make the railing. Making that railing. Again, we're just making this house for the cloning. I'm gonna delete that umbrella. I think it's gonna make the house. It's gonna make it look too much like a repeated house if there's an umbrella on every house that comes through. All right, so there you go. I just want to keep talking because my wife is talking on the phone and I forgot to close the door. So there we go. That's an ugly thing. Yep, I feel it's kind of ugly, but whatever. We'll see. Okay, here we go. Just gonna cover that up. Right, I'm gonna. Oh, and it's already merged, so I'm gonna delete that unsightly umbrella. There we go. All right, I'm gonna turn on all the mush houses and the tree and all that stuff and everything that's there. Here we go. I'm gonna go back to my. I don't even know. Oh, here it is. Okay, yep. acorn house, so I'm going to go Control T. Oh no, hang on. God damn it. Control D. Control T. Because the whole layer was selected when I hit Control T, and so I didn't want to have to shrink the whole layer down, even though only this little house was the thing in the layer. That's not bad, that's not bad. Just gonna go Control J, Control T, and put a second one here. That's not right, eh? Let's go Control J, Control T, and keep going. Just I can hear so much talking downstairs. I should have closed my door. Make it a little smaller. That's where I probably should have made this a smart object. That way you can like make changes to them without altering them too much. But anyway, let's see what that looks like. That's not bad, eh? Move this one down a few layers so that it's behind the mushroom house. And make it a little smaller. Put it up here. See, when you draw them big and then shrink them down before, you know, putting them in place, you end up, it changes the scale of how they look, right? So I'm just going to move my thing around so I can see how long I've been at this. 17 minutes. Okay, good, good. Lots of time. Okay, that's not bad. That's not bad. Okay, so I think we want a little more variety. So let's make a tall, skinny building. Let's go back. Let's just right here. Tall, skinny. So I went for my walk this morning, and oh boy, it was -20 out. So winter is here. Winter's here, people. So tall, skinny. What is that going to look like? I think we're going to make a one of these. Nah, damn it. One of these mushrooms that's kind of like a hang on. Just gonna move up here. Just gonna make this nice and big. Again, it's kind of like a bolus, you know, one of these. One of these big mushrooms. Like that. The doorway in there. Little railing here. What we want to do is have these little bastions that stick out of it. I'm just going to erase a bit here. You know, just making a happy little mushroom. Oh god. It's like mushrooms on mushrooms. So this is like the mushroom sticking out, and another one. You even do like wooden planks, you know. That. We can do like the spore thing underneath the mushroom. What are those? The flukes? The flukes? Just kind of thing like It's not bad, it's not bad. Delete the bottom and just redraw it a little bit. Put the doorway in there, you know. Again, people watching this might think this guy's nuts. He's going to spend 14 hours drawing this thing. What am I doing here? Sorry. The thing I hate about Photoshop is if you click on the wrong tool and try to draw, and it's like, bling, 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 you didn't select something in order to use this tool. You have to click on OK before you can do anything. Alright, well, I clicked, okay, well. And it just keeps going bling, 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 bling. It's like, yeah, the fourth time I hit the thing, you should understand that I don't give a shit about your message. And stop making the bling sound. Or, you know, you should know what I'm trying to do, damn it. Am I complaining about the technology that I'm using? Alright. Alright, here we go. That's not bad, that's interesting. It's an interesting looking building anyway, right? Alright, so let's, where is it? Oh, I was drawing in the background. Fuck me. No, I wasn't. Sorry. Okay, pardon my language. Good. Because that happens to me all the time. Create a new layer, and I'm messing around, and then I just do all of that work on the wrong layer, and then I'm like, fnurg. Let's do a purplish mushroom. A purple mushroom head. Alright. So again, I made a new layer that had nothing in it, and then I just made it a multiply layer, which means only the stuff that's dark is visible, which is the colors that I'm putting on. And I pretty much drew over this thing here. Alright, so let's just do the little roofs of these mushrooms. That's the wrong tool. Here we go. In fact, I'm just going to draw the whole thing in this color, and we can go in and fill in the shading. This is where I could have done my trick where I select everything but the mushroom, but whatever. Just delete afterwards. Something like that, and then we'll just delete this. And again, you know, am I spending too much time on this illustration? Yeah. Is it a labor of love though? Absolutely. So to hell with you. Oh, I'm deleting. God damn it. Okay, so I'm just gonna go back in here. I'm gonna make my line thinner. I'm gonna make my color a little lighter. A lot lighter. There we go, because that's like the color of the mushroom underneath. And I'm gonna go darker. Then I'm gonna actually make some brown, making brown, to represent the wooden panels and these little dormer window type thingies. Alright, let's do the color, to the yellow of the lit up windows. Oh, that's kind of dark, eh? It's not terrible. Now let's go back here and do the darker shading on the purple. It's not bad. let's do some lighter shading than the purple. Fucking just drew over my yellow. Alright. That's just a cute little house. Okay, so I'm going to go make thinner lines. Again, I like putting the window bars in the window just to show the orientation of the window, you know. Okay, there we go. Alright, so I'm going to merge these two layers. Merge layers. I'm going to put my light line around the outside of it. So that's my tall, skinny building. I'm just going to turn on all of my other layers again. It's called tall, skinny copy. I'm just going to call it tall, skinny. Control D, Control T. This goes back here. That's not bad. Let's see if I can put it in a few other places. It's not bad. Bad. Pretty good. I'm just going to make a bunch of these. Start making them a little bigger. People are like, but they all look the same. And I'm like, yeah, you know, when a developer gets into an area, boy, they don't stop building until that was always my comment whenever I would visit friends who were in these newer developments. I'd drive in and you couldn't find the house, or you'd visit them for the third time and you still couldn't find the house because they all look the same. It'd be like, it's like you're living in Legoland. You know, you buy these Lego sets and you build this whole town, and I mean, you know, and they're all made from Legos. They all look the same. So yeah. Okay, well, it's starting to look like something, I guess. Here we go. I feel like as we go up higher into the tree, things start to get smaller and smaller. Because the real estate starts to become more expensive, you know. It's the law of supply and demand, people. We're starting to get there, eh? I'll start making some of these orange houses. This is where I'd like to have a better way to manage my layering. There we go. So now I'm just starting to put these orange houses in behind the towers. And in front of the towers. It's pretty good. Just keep going. Make this one a bit smaller and put it behind the tower. So if you're watching these videos, you know, do comment, do let me know what you think. You know, if you think I'm an idiot, or if you think I'm doing good, or well, whatever, say something, man. And if you're watching this, and if you know me, click on like. You know, it doesn't cost you anything to like a video, and it makes it a lot easier for people to see the videos. Like, that's the problem with posting videos on things like YouTube and Facebook and things like that. You know, if you're not an anti-vaxxer or a fascist, nobody sees your videos. Like, I have many followers on Facebook, for example, and friends, people who are my friends, who like don't see my stuff because I'm not, you know, because I'm not trying to overthrow our society with comments that make people angry and clicky. So anyway, just click on like. I'm not saying that, you know, you're a fascist if you don't like my stuff. So you know, down with Hitler is what I'm saying. And you know, and today is what, January 7th, January 8th today. Okay, 2022. So it's a year after the Magats tried to overthrow the government by, you know, having a tailgate party and murdering people at at Congress, right? Yeah, it was Congress in the States last year. So, you know, that's the kind of thing that generates clicks. As if I have an opinion on that. So there you go. I have an opinion on, you know, people trying to overthrow legally elected governments. And then afterwards claiming, no, that wasn't such a big deal. We wouldn't have actually murdered anyone if we'd gotten in. You know, we were just saying that we were going to. We weren't going to actually do it. It's gonna move this acorn house behind that tree. Eventually this acorn house will be behind something. Oh, it is already. Okay, good. Make this one a little bigger. Anyway, that's why people follow me on it, because I'm talking about, you know, difficult topics, man. Yeah. It'd be great if this was the, nope. I'll try to find another tall, skinny one that I'm, put this in front of. There we go. Alright, so what does that look like now? See, we're getting there. We're getting feel like I probably want to do, I'll click on this one. No, I'll click on this one. I'm going to find some buildings that are behind it. This one here. Although I don't know where it is. There it is. I'm going to start putting stuff over here. But it just ends up looking like rooftops, you know? Move this in front of some. Yeah, there we go. Now I could also change the color of these by going hue, saturation and stuff. The problem with that though is that it'll also change the color of the windows, and I want all the windows to be the same color. So yeah. All right. Smaller. Push that back a few layers. And I like the notion that you know, that there's mushrooms growing on the side of the tree. Like this is an old tree and it's just been there forever. And especially since one of the characters in my Humblewood game that I'm running with Penny Dragon is she's a mushroom spore druid, or whatever you want to call them. And you know, it's just sort of an interesting way how, because you know, a lot of the stuff that mushrooms do is necrotic damage, which is the damage of death. And but, you know, death is a form of life, right? And there's like religious themes happening in the game where gods are being co-opted by an evil, basically like some kind of a demon or some kind of a creature that's stealing the worshippers of gods and making gods die, basically. And nominally, this druid, she you know, she's a worshipper of Henwin, who is the hedge god of gardens, growing things. And how, you know, Henwin pretty much just spends a lot of time in the garden and is just kind of a fun gardener and gardens. And it's like, you know, if anything were to happen, you can grow mushrooms in your garden too, even if things are going badly or if life. Hang on. I want to put this guy back here, so I got to find the latest mushroom house that I did. Gotta keep going way back here somewhere. See, again, I wish Facebook, I wish Photoshop had easier ways to manage your layers than this with multiple objects. I should probably be using something like, you know, Adobe Illustrator to draw this. It's just I don't want to learn another thing. Don't want to learn more things. See here, I want to go Okay. Again, how to find layers in between. Where is that one? Okay, I want to put it over here somewhere. There we go. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was waxing philosophical about, you know, fascism. And how just click like on this video, man. You don't have to, you know. And if you don't like hearing me talk, it's okay. In fact, can you hear me talk? Yeah, good, good. This is me not being good at managing stuff while I'm arting. I do want to go behind those houses. It's going to go all the way back here. Nope. Gotta go way back. Don't worry, we're finding our level where that freaking house is. Oh, jeez. There we go. We found it. Okay. All right. Yeah, see, it just becomes a bunch of rooftops, you know, in the end. I'm gonna go control. I'm just gonna save my work. I'm doing a lot of changes here. So what does that look like? Starting to look interesting. Starting to look interesting. Does it ever look super saturated and colorful on the main map? Don't worry about that. We're gonna tone down some saturation, people. Don't you worry. Okay, so I want more of these little houses here. A little smaller. Yeah, just like that. Let's work our way down from here. And we're gonna make later on. We can make some specials and one-offs and all, you know, one-off buildings and stuff. All right, I'm just gonna make my. Gonna go way back behind all the mushroom houses. Back. Here we go. It's right there. Okay. Let's go bring this back here somewhere. And I can also, I can make some different buildings, right, for other layers. For like the background buildings and stuff. In fact, I think I want to draw a different building now. So, look at all these layers. See, it's just becoming crazy and unmanageable, but it's okay. It's okay, man. Okay. I'm just gonna go right on the top layer as far high as I can go. Here we go. Delete. We're gonna go, so we've had acorn houses and we have mushroom houses. I'm gonna go, what, leaf roof houses, I guess? And I think I'm gonna make a leaf house. Oh boy. See now. It's just gonna take forever to hide all the layers, right? So I'm just gonna go way up here and hide the tree layer. Shrink. And the purple sky. Okay. I'm just gonna make a nice leaf house right way up here using my ultimate inking. Oops, I'm just gonna make it black. Almost like a, like a big banana leaf house or something. These ferns basically that live, that kind of live, that can grow underneath the tree, the great tree. And sort of again, we're gonna have, big windows. Big lintel here. Something like that. Just looks like a pile of trash. Yeah. Sure. Stairway maybe. Little mailbox, why not? I feel like this is almost like a Drbeen house, Drbeens are the mouse people of the Humblewood. Okay, so there we go. So I don't even know, did I just draw that on the background? I did. No, I didn't. What the hell? Where did I draw this? Oh, I drew this on a layer called Leaf House, which is what I wanted. Good, good. So I'm going to go Control J, Control A, delete everything again. Control D to deselect everything, and then I'm going to go multiply. My old tricks. I'm going to make a nice dark green. So I think now we have so much stuff to do. I'm just going to draw the outline of it. Just fill it in. Nope, fill tool. Fill tool. Okay. That fill, he's such a tool. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna make the structure of the house be kind of like a rotten, this color of this old vegetation. Like there just living in a compost pile that they tunneled out. Yeah, so in our game, the heroes have rescued, though they fought a hag. So in my game, in my Humblewood game, hags look like, well, they look like different animals because it's all animals in Humblewood. So green hags look like toads. They're just these horrifying, they're just basically these toads. And so this hag had the entire Gerbine population of Saltersport, which is a town, basically giving up all their daughters in order to, in exchange for, material riches. Yeah, that's the usual thing. And just like in real life. And so the heroes, found Granny Greenback and defeated her. And they found in her egg sac a whole bunch of newborn female Gerbines. And so the families, they didn't give them back to the families who after Granny Greenback was defeated, the families, all of their riches magically disappeared because it wasn't real. The material possessions aren't real, man. And so the heroes, and I was like, so do you just give the babies back to the people who have who regret what they have done? And they're like, F no, we're not doing that. So they're gonna set up an orphanage for these. I think there's exactly 100. I randomly rolled how many children there were, and there was like exactly 100. So now one of the characters, who's basically a murderous rogue, has decided she wants to dedicate her life to making sure that these young girls grow up safe and good. And so it's very interesting. And so they're now looking for a place to they figure they don't want to do it in Saltersport because all of these Gerbine families who used to be rich, who are now penniless, are going to figure it out eventually when they see all these young Gerbine girls running around town. And so they're going to do it probably in Alderheart, the big city. They need to find a safe place to do it. And the humble folk tend to live in the Underhollow, which is like the poor under part of the city. A nice red mailbox. There we go. So that just looks like a little lump. Just going to make a nice lighter green line around the outside of it. And a lighter beige line around the outside of it. And a lighter, you don't do light red because it just comes up looking pink, you just do orange. Nice orange, there we go. Make a nice brown piece of wood around the window. Okay, so let's just turn on all those layers. All the way back down to when I'm pretty satisfied with how the houses are, I'm probably going to just combine the layers into fewer layers so that you have like a cross section of the houses or whatever, so I don't have to kind of like manually get through all these layers. So make sure the scale doesn't look weird. This is supposed to be a smaller house. Yeah, see the scale, okay, it has to be like this scale. I think that's pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to go Control X. Oh. I'm going to select everything. I'm going to, actually, you know what, I'm going to make Control D. I'm going to make this into a smart object. Okay, so it is now a smart object. I'm going to go Control X. It should, nope. There we go. So my smart object is gone. I'm going to go Control V. Now I'm doing that. Delete that layer. I'm doing that because I want it to appear behind this layer. So I'm going to go to the layer below it and go Control V. It is now back here. Perfect. Just making a few of these. All right. So now that way I don't have to like manually scrape through all the layers. I'm gonna go that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. So the key here is that I'm selecting things that I want this house to appear in front of, basically. And then I'm just using the Control C, Control V. Oh, that doesn't look good. You can also go Control T, flip horizontal, boink, and then this house is now facing the other way. Okay. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Okay. Well, that's not bad, eh? I find that making the stairway come out on the left side can make it look pretty good in some cases. So, okay. Okay, so I'm just going to try to make stuff appear behind this one. I'm using the Control J command now because otherwise the Control V makes it appear like in sort of a random place, whereas the Control J just makes it appear right on top of where it is. So now I'm going Control V again because I want it to be here. That's not bad. Let's look at the amount of time, 59 minutes. Okay, so here we go. So in this case, I'm going to keep just, copying and pasting layers. And really filling in the layers. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. So the tree is starting to get pretty interesting. Yep. And again, don't worry if it looks really, really colorful and saturated. It's going to be, we're gonna desaturate a lot of that afterwards. It's just that I find that my drawing tablet has much less saturation than my main monitor, and so I'm presuming that if you're watching this on a monitor, what you see is going to look different depending on what you're looking at it on. I find that my tablet looks more like what your phone screen will render, and so I'm not too worried about the saturation. Anyway, there you go. So I think that's going to be it for today. Thanks a lot, and hopefully you find this trip into my mind to be interesting. All right, see you guys later.